All right, here is our next artwork. This is Titian's Venus of Urbino. Now, this was painted at the height of his popularity, and he painted this for the Duke of Urbino. That's where it gets its name. But the title, Venus of Urbino, that title was added later. Uh, we'll explain exactly what's going on here, but typically these images of naked women in these reclining positions, they were done a lot. I mean, here, this one's done by Titian and Giorgione. So Giorgione before he passed away, and Titian, we believe he worked on this as well. These types of reclining female nudes and these very sexually suggestive gestures, these were not new. These were understood to be private viewing only, and the titles calling them sleeping Venuses and stuff like that, those were added later to make it okay or more appropriate to be looking at a naked woman in a painting. It was basically like, oh, I'm not interested in looking at this naked body. No, no, no. It's Venus. Remember Neoplatonism? Yeah, so I'm interested in the beauty of human body and God's creation. It's fine. It's Venus. It's not a naked chick. It's Venus. It doesn't count. It's a goddess. Before we get into it, though, there is a really cool video I'm going to attach. This video is I spoke with these people, oh gosh, when was it? 2012, 2013? I can't remember. 2000, must have been 13. Rob and Nick Carter are doing these digital images or digital photographs, these moving photographs, not GIFs, but moving photographs of nudes or still lives, and they're really cool. So I'll put up a link so you can appreciate this and some of their other work. They have a link on Vimeo. So what's happening here? Well, this is a private viewing only painting, and here it stands today, but I want you to imagine it originally would have had a curtain rod right across the top. Originally, these types of scandalous nudes would have some kind of a screen over them, and that screen could be lowered or removed depending on the audience. So she would have had, here, hold on, let me just undo that one. She would have had a curtain. I'm trying to find my, okay, there it is. She would have had a curtain over her, probably a green curtain. I'll say why. And then depending on who the audience was, this would be behind that green curtain, or you could da 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 da. You'd be like, hey, here we go, here we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this was painted for who? This was painted for the Duke of Urbino. Duke of Urbino, Guibaldo. His full name, Guibaldo II della Rovere. And he, at this time, is the Duke of Urbino. Now, he comes from a long line of art patrons. It was the Duke of Urbino prior to him who had been in charge when Raphael was born and raised in Urbino. So Urbino, being a site of culture, we see here Guibaldo has invited Titian to come and paint this picture of Venus. It's actually not a Venus, it's his wife, Julia. What? I know, right? So, Julia, her name is Julia Varano. Now, she comes from a very powerful Italian family, and their marriage was one not of, well, not originally of love, but one of convenience, political alliance. Now, they were married for 13 years, and this was painted at the beginning of their marriage. They got married in 1534. So this is painted 4 years into their marriage. Now you know what is expected of Julia. She is a woman. She is his property. She is a representative of the family. She is meant to have lots of babies, preferably boy babies. Sadly, after 13 years of marriage, which many people who visited them said it was a very loving, very compatible match, after 13 years of marriage, there were no children. And Julia died after what was most likely suffering of a very difficult miscarriage. Ugh, I know, it's so terrible. Why do we have to look at this stuff? Well, all right, let's reframe it before she passes away. Urbino, a center of learning, a center of art, a center of culture. Urbino, Titian is invited to Urbino to paint this portrait. It's referred to as the Venus of Urbino, but we know who it is. And what we see here is Julia. Oh my goodness, Julia. Oh, we see so much. So we see Julia, and she's laying on this couch, and we have her not wearing a stitch of clothing except for a gold bracelet and a pearl earring. Her hair is down, these curly ringlets, and she's on this very cushioned red couch with these white pillows. In her what is it? Her right hand, she has a bunch of flowers. Specifically, these are roses. These like pink rose, pink red garden roses. And then if we follow the line of her body down here, we see a little dog. Now this dog sleeping, how cute and adorable. And in the background, we see two wooden chests, and these two women that we would immediately understand to be her maidservants. And they're pulling out, it looks like a gown for her to wear. Now, we see the window, that hazy light. Is it daytime going into night? Or is it night going into day? Is it dusk? Or is it dawn? You can't really tell. But maybe we're not supposed to be able to tell. All right, so now let's look at this scene and let's think of it in terms of iconography. Okay. In terms of iconography, well, we have flowers, a dog right over there, and then we got those women. So let's start here in the foreground with our Venus, our Julia. So we see Julia, and she is oh my goodness, naked, and she has her hair down and blush on her cheek. She must have been in the act of something maybe that would have made her hair fall down and made her flush, some kind of activity that rumpled up these sheets here. Oh, goodness gracious. If we are unsure exactly what she was up to, these flowers are telling us. Think of what we understand in terms of iconography of flowers. Flowers smell sweet, they're soft. They're used as symbols of love and passion. So we have love and passion in the palm of her hand. Also, oh gosh, this is so embarrassing for me to say in class and in this video, but I mean, her flowers are often, well, okay. Petals are on flowers. A woman's genitalia is often referred to as petals. So she's got her hand in some petals. If you think I'm stretching and I'm just trying to make this sound more sexy than it is, look, this is Titian telling us, nope, hands in the petals. Oh my gosh. Okay. To help pull our eye, that's the only other piece of jewelry she's got. The ring and the bracelet and that little earring. So we go 1, 2, 3. Okay, so she's done some activity with her husband on this couch. Look at that little doggy down there. We know dogs. Dogs are iconography for what? Fidelity, Miss Cortez. Yes, fidelity. Yes, good, good, good. So we have a faithful companion, the dog, but also it's a little dog. Remember we talked about the difference between big dogs and little dogs. Little dogs are feisty, they're fiery, they're passionate. So we've got this little passionate, hot-blooded dog on the couch with her, and it's fallen asleep from all of the activity. Oh, okay. Now let's go to the background. In the back, we see the two women, and they're pulling a dress out of these two wooden chests. What's really interesting about these chests is that they tell us she is married. Huh? Okay. In Italian culture during this time, young women of high standard or high standing would be gifted by their fathers beautiful, expensive wooden chests, these massive things, and they would be, depending on how much money your dad had, they would be carved and painted and decorated elaborately, and you'd keep it in your room, in your dad's house, and you would keep all of your treasures, all of your fine linens, all of your embroidery, all of your treasures. And then when you got married, as part of the wedding procession to your husband's house, they're called cassone. Cassones. These cassones, if I remember, I'll put a link in the page beneath this. These cassones would be carted through the streets and taken from your dad's to your new master's house, your husband. So to put these two, because she's got two, you could have multiple of these trunks if you were crazy expensive or rich. And she's got two just showing. So she's got two in the back, and they're taking out her gowns to dress her, to get her ready. Ready for what? This goes back to the window. Is it getting ready for the day or getting ready for the night? Whatever it is, they have to make her proper. Because what we see here is Julia naked and needing to represent the family. Now, that's two roles that we see her serving right now. One role, the passion and pleasure for her husband. Okay. Second role of Julia, second role of any wife at this time, to be a representative of the family. A representative of the family. You present and are part of this larger family. And so you better look the part and act the part. That's the women right there. They're getting her ready to represent the family. And there is a third purpose for the wife. It's right here. See, there's a slight swelling of her belly. Is she pregnant? Perhaps. We know that Julia did have several very tragic miscarriages. This is painted only 4 years into their marriage. What we see is, if not pregnancy, a hope for pregnancy. So we see the three roles of Julia, the three roles of the wife. We see the pleasure, the representation, and procreation, bringing about the next generation. So it's a very beautiful painting. It's just a little disconcerting and a little awkward to talk about. Now, let's look at the composition. Composition is balanced by use of color, or, as your vocabulary word states, colorito. Colorito, the application of paint that emphasizes the colors within the composition over the design or drawing. Basically, and I outlined it here, colorito is the opposite of diseño. Colorito, the opposite of diseño. Remember? High Italian Renaissance? They love design. Lines, lines. Design work is there. It gives us structure. It gives us form. The Venetians are like, yeah, got it. I like it. Look at Titian's giving it to you right there. You want your line work? But what balances the composition is not linear perspective. It's color. Look at that. He's got color there. He's got red, white, and green. And then in the background, the red and the white of that maidservant's dress, and the green in the dress and the casones and the plant. Red, white, and green balanced out in the foreground, with red, white, and green in the background. It's very Venetian to do that. Now, another element of this painting, the application of paint, and it's your vocabulary term that I put on the exam study guide. Velatura, which means veiling. Veiling is a glaze of a color which is lighter in value than the underlayer and is semi-transparent. What this is using oil paints in these thin, translucent layers to create this exquisite luminosity. I wish we could be in front of a Titian, because the way that he would apply his paint is this velatura. He would start with a darker color, and then he would add to that lighter flesh tones. Now, one of his teaching assistants described how he would be in the studio working. He would be working on a painting, and then he'd layer those soft, translucent layers, and then he'd stand back, and then he'd go back in, and then he'd paint again, and then sometimes he would look back, and then he'd be like, no, and he'd take his pinky finger, and because oil paint takes a long time to dry, he'd kind of softly rub it with his little pinky just to get it all mixed up. And then sometimes he'd be like, I can't look at this anymore, and he'd just turn it around in the studio, and he wouldn't look at it for a couple days, and then he'd turn it back around like fresh eyes. I mean, you guys do that too, right? When you're working on something, you have all your drafts, and you're just like, I can't look at this anymore. Put it away, and then you come back to it in a couple days or a couple hours. That's what Titian would do. But this veiling, this soft layering of color, you can almost feel the texture and the blood pulsing underneath this flesh because of the veiling, the velatura. So we have our women, we have our cassone, we have the roles of the women, and then we see that curtain. That's the green curtain. That's the green curtain I told you about. I remember I said that you would pull back a green curtain. So what we're seeing here is Titian's play on reality. The green curtain is the green curtain, or the green, yeah, the green curtain here is the green curtain that would be oh my. Now, I don't know when or in what company the Duke of Urbino would find it appropriate to show this painting of his wife. I mean, it's totally bizarre to me. But Titian's playing with that. Okay, so I think that's all I need to say now. I'm going to try to remember the videos I wanted to post underneath. The Cassone video, yeah? All right, that's it for lecture. I'm going to put bonus videos of Palladio and one of Titian's beneath here. And I think that's it for now. Okay, good luck. Go study.